Welcome back to Gamers Without Borders. The NA region bracket is well and truly underway. Our upper bracket final is coming up next, and things are really starting to take shape. And we've had a cheeky switcheroo in the studio here, the virtual studio. I'm now joined by Cole and Stumpy. Stumpy, I'm going to kick things off with you, my friend. What a way to kick off day two. The underdog story continues.
That Cinderella run in that glass boot that they are wearing is just not shattering whatsoever. Going through Complexity and also previously Axel, another fantastic team, and now Optic Gaming, not even going to 5. I'm really enjoying their run, and I've seen them yet again on social media just saying, this is awesome. We love winning at the moment, and this is hopefully going to be a really good look into their future in the RLCS as well, because that is very, very soon to start.
A promising start from these guys for sure. Cole, this is where things start to get very tasty. Who is going to show the biggest display of dominance and have a complete win streak all the way through to that grand final? What are your first thoughts when it comes to thinking about G2 going up against Version1?
Well, both G2 Esports and Version1 had a best of 5 in the upper bracket semi-finals that they won in Game 5. G2 beat Space Station Gaming 3-2 in the 5th game, and Version1 beat Complexity 2-1 in the 5th game. So it's been a battle for both these teams to make it here. I would say, I was put on the spot earlier on by Stumpy after our series, and I said, Version1. I'm going to stick with Version1. I just think that the duo that they have, which is starting to really bubble up in Beast Mode and Daniel, this format is designed for them. Surely in a best of 7, but the Beast Mode and Daniel combo is just too much.
It could be too much. I mean, only time will tell. Stumpy, it seems that whoever loses this match is going to have that buffer. They've got that lower bracket underneath, but they've got an ever-improving Koi waiting in the wings, waiting in the darkness. It's a dangerous place to be.
I don't want to be a silly Billy here, but
Be a silly Billy,
feel...
do it.
Oh, okay, I'll be a little bit goofy. I feel like whoever loses out of G2 and Version1, they're still just better than Koi. But then I would have said that versus Complexity. I would have said that kind of, less so, but kind of with Optic. Like, I think that whoever drops down, they're in the upper bracket final for a reason. Yes, they lose to a better team. These are probably the 2 best teams in the competition that are definitely still in here anyway, or even when we were starting off. And I feel like they're going to be stronger than Koi, but it's going to be a knock to the confidence, going down into the lower and then having to face them again in the grand final. Either that galvanizes a team or it makes them think, ooh, okay, cracks are formed, we are very, very beatable.
The best thing that G2 have done is just let Atomic loose on 1v1s. You know, he is running pretty well. He got his win against S5 Cosmic, which was unexpected and impressive. And then against LJ as well, he only lost 5-4. So he's showing that he can battle with good 1v1 players. I'm not sure how he's going to do against a Daniel. That remains to be seen. So the 1v1 definitely goes in Version1's favor. And if you think of it away from the crew battles format, if I said to you, Stumpy, oh, it's a 3v3, but Version1 are 90% certain to win one of the 5 games or one of the 7 games, you'd think, oh, well, statistically, Version1 will probably win the series then, right? Like, that 1v1 that they have is so powerful in this format.
Well, Cole, now that you've mentioned G2, I'm going to dive right in. We actually had the opportunity to catch up with Chicago earlier in the week, and this is what he had to say.
Hi, my name is Chicago, and I play for G2 Esports Rocket League. Our goals and expectations as a team for Gamers 8 is to first qualify for the event because we have to play the online portion. We definitely want to qualify. We went to Saudi last year, had a great experience, and we really want to be back there again and compete and have fun. So first we got to qual, but after that, we expect to do big things if we make it.
Defender reading it, he put it back near post. Kind of a sneaky little shot there. Now Chicago, can he land on it? He does back post. Will bounce it to the top right corner.
The structure and the format for this tournament's definitely interesting. It's something new, so I think that's always exciting, always can be used in the scene. But unfortunately, I definitely think my team is not built as well as other teams for the format when it comes to 1v1s and 2v2s, but you can't let those game modes throw you off and affect your 3v3 game and vice versa. So being able to bounce back and be resilient and take a loss on the chin and get right back up to perform the very next game is super important. It will keep you winning series.
On target, going to be a tough read, a shot opportunity for G2. They're going to put it top right at Chicago with perfect placement.
Some other teams will bring in different players that are not usually on the rosters to maybe play 1v1s or 2v2s to try and throw people off or try and get an advantage in the tournament. It's definitely going to be tough, and we all know that.
You get this one out, and he doesn't get the boost either. Thomas will whip back around, and he'll put it away for 6.
What a bully.
Version1 or Vitality is a very good chance of winning the event. Their rosters are just perfectly built for this kind of format with great 1v1 and 2v2 players, and obviously their 3v3 is very good as well. So I think those would probably be my 2 expected teams to win this tournament.
Scoring opportunity just a moment ago. That's a great pass over to Mist. It will be 2-0 now for G2.
Playing for charity is something that's really cool because as much as I would love to, we don't get to do it as often as we would like. So being able to have the chance to donate money to a charity of your choice and a good amount of money at that, it's something super cool. And again, you don't get to do it often. So it kind of drives you a little bit more to push a little bit extra just so you can do well and get that extra money for whatever charity is your choice. To all my supporters and all of our supporters at G2, we love you all through the ups and downs. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate all the support. We're gonna need it. It's gonna be a fun ride. It's gonna be a long one, but it should be fun.
What a nice guy, that Chicago from G2 Esports. At least he can identify the weaknesses where they lie. We're not that great at 1s. We're not that great at 2s. But you still have to practice them, buddy. You guys have got to get better in those formats, right, Cole?
I mean, also, did I detect a little bit of frustration at teams bringing in ringers, i.e. Corey with S5 Cosmic? But he was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We just sort of play with our actual team. I didn't think,
it's part of the game.
Is he getting them?
It's part of the competition.
Did you sense it too? Am I crazy here, or was there just a little bit of that?
I would never tear Chicago down personally, but Cole, if you want to do that, that's okay. It's part of the game. You can bring in other players. You can bring in S5 Cosmic. It's part of the competition. If you want to say, oh, you know, we're a pure team coming in, well, pure doesn't pay the bills, mate, all right?
Fair enough.
I mean, fair. Stumpy, the usual. Harsh but fair. I like it. Okay, I'll stick with you, Stumpy. Predictions, my friend. What's your situation with your prediction? Let's go.
So Cole's been chatting a lot about saying Version1 have got the 1v1. Oh, right. Oh, chill out. All right. Maybe I'm about to agree with you. I'm not. The Version1 have got a lot of that 1v1 and the 2v2 ability. But when you look at what the series actually is, it's always going to be a majority 3v3 game mode or over any of the others. And I think G2 are the 3v3 team in this competition. I think they are the best 3v3 team currently in this competition. I therefore have G2.
Ooh, okay. Go on then, Cole. Dive in. I'm ready for you.
I'm just looking at the results from prior. G2 beat Space Station Gaming, only winning 3v3s, which one, by the way, is hilarious.
Exactly, I love it. It's very G2 of them.
If they win this whole event, only winning 3s, fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? Good luck to them. I think at some point, though, they are going to lose a single game of 3v3, and I think that will happen against the Version1 that's improving. I just think they're better suited to the format, and they will grab a game or two in the 3v3 as well. So Version1 for me, 100%.
I mean, a win is a win is a win, let's be honest. It is time to dive into our upper bracket final of our Rocket League competition here in the North American region. So, just 3 best-of-7s remain in this competition, and then we'll have a champion, Johnny and Jorby, waiting in the wings. Let's go.
G2 and Version1 about to take the stage. Thank you so much, Banks, Cole, and Stumpy. This one, I feel like it's going to be pretty good. Our first best-of-7 of the event, and Version1 and G2 about to take it on. Johnny, give me your measure of this match.
Yeah, it's very interesting that it is a best-of-7. That, I think, makes it even more Version1 favored because they have more tries to beat G2 in 3v3. We're starting as we did all tournament long with game 1, 3v3. After that, the loser of this game, so if G2 win the 3v3 as we expect, V1 will be able to pick the game mode. I think they just pick 1v1 because they should win that. And they are already losing this first game, so we're actually on a fast track to exactly what I'm talking about right now. But after every odd game in the series, game 1, 3, 5, and 7 are 3v3, game 6 also picked by the loser of game 5. So that's got to be another 1v1 free win for Version1 as well. I think they've just got 2 free wins in this series if they lose games 1 and 5, of course.
And we'll see Remains to be seen what happens in this game. You say fast track, but there's, you know, 4+ on the clock and plenty of time for version 1 to get it figured out. Chicago getting bumped there shortly. I do feel like version 1 were starting to get it figured out in threes yesterday. As the day went on, they looked a little bit better in each game each game, excuse me, that went on in 3v3. That seemed to be, maybe not so surprisingly, their weakest mode. That's 2 now. Solid saves that Chicago made. He got one earlier. JNAV's on the flip reset. G2 all squared up here in midfield.
Yeah, version 1, 3 wins, 2 losses in 3v3 so far in this competition. G2, meanwhile, 5 wins, no losses. They've taken every single 3v3 they've played, so they are the better 3v3 team in this crew battle format, it would seem, and that's no surprise. They've been one of the best 3v3 teams in the world, and especially in North America so far this season. And version 1, in their pre-split events that they played in so far, have been unconvincing in 3v3 up until now. Glimmers of hope yesterday, especially taking down complexity twice in 3v3. That's big for them. So they do have a chance here. But yeah, they're up against it in threes. There's no doubt about it. This team hasn't clicked yet. And I think that this is excellent practice as well for RLCS, is getting 3v3 reps in competition.
They've been getting it. Com has tweeted about how happy he's been to experience this roster in this format in particular. Having Daniel in beast mode, helping you out in 1v1 and 2v2. And we'll see if they keep those good vibes going. Right now, still down by 1, potentially 2 as G2 start putting on the pressure. But version 1 do a great job moving the ball close to their wall, keeping it away from G2's rotation despite them pressed up. That was a good return there from version 1. Now on offense, beast mode going for a low double reset. Nothing gonna get done there.
Well, you know, it's interesting. A lot of people theorize, I think, a very fair thing about version 1 on paper, and that was that Com likely to be first man. Hasn't been the case so much in this tournament. Beast mode now ties the game off a very common theme that we've been seeing throughout this event. Daniel and beast mode synergizing in offense, first, second man rotation. Com actually taking a bit more of a backseat. That is not what we expected when we saw this team on paper when Daniel joined. We really thought Daniel would be sitting back, Com would be just rampaging up front, but yeah, it looks like they're experimenting with their system that they want to run right now. And you know, who's going to be the priority defender? Who's going to be the priority attacker in this team?
Maybe that's the benefit that this team's going to bring, is that you can really kind of switch that up, those tendencies almost, where if you want beast mode to be a little more passive, he can be. Or if you want, you know how Daniel has played third man often when he played for Space Station, or at least was in that position a lot of the time. But you know he's capable, just as capable in every other position. And that's got to be nice for a team like version 1, because all the other teams at the top, they have that same kind of makeup. You want to be that kind of team. Version 1 have handled business so far. They've kept G2 scoreless here so far, but we're all scoreless since the opening minute, excuse me.
Yeah, Daniel, for his entire professional career so far, he has always had a very aggressive off-the-ball player, sometimes 2 aggressive off-the-ball players in front of him, namely Rettles, Arsenal, and now Com. But we're yet to really see that confidence perhaps, going forward, leaving Beast Mode and Daniel to defend, which it's just it is puzzling to me. I think Beast Mode and Daniel, they're better when they get a bit of space from their teammates, and they're trying to both be that guy right now for V1. It's gotten them into the upper final of this tournament so far, but I think overall I'm liking what I'm seeing from G2 in this matchup. They just look like the G2 of old. Version 1 still trying to put it together. This is a good chance for them now. Atomic's in an awkward position. He does well to keep it in the corner. Daniel can't really do much with that.
And G2 break right out. Atomic doesn't really get the 50 he wants in the corner. He's kind of down here in midfield for a little bit. Version 1 happy to draw this ball into the corner. Stuffing G2 out again, beast mode. Now he has to clear it out. Actually gets a high touch. The ball sailed under his carriage. Maybe a shot here. Daniel, a light tap. And a bump. Daniel, a little far. G2 panicked on the play. They thought Daniel was coming, and he did. He deleted one. Beast mode on the low 50. Not quite there. Late push here from Version1. Again on the side wall. Weaving around one. Here comes Daniel. Bumps it down. Free ball. Just shot denied. G2 stay right in front. But here comes one more from Daniel. Taken away again. As time expires, G2 hold the line. But do they have a way to cut it? Version1, they don't.
Oh, there's a great chance for beast mode there at the near post. Overhit the first touch, kind of just inviting the challenge from the G2 goalkeeper. Had G2 on the ropes in the closing seconds there. Look at beast mode. Little double tap to counter attack. In comes Daniel, surely, and it will be the goal to win it for Version1. But it is all beast mode. He outplays the entire team single-handedly. 1v3 assist by B mode.
He pops that out like a supercharged toaster pops out toasts. Just popped it up straight up. Nobody could get there from G2. Beast mode. Oh, you know, most people who name themselves Beast Mode, you just get nothing but, oh, cringe, cringe, cringe. Why would you call yourself that? But Beast Mode is one of those guys that can just call himself Beast Mode because he's just built different.
Yes, a supercharged toaster. I mean, thinking about that as a concept just for a second, that can't be actually that can't be very useful. Surely that would just send all your toast to the ceiling.
Well, no, you have to angle it. It's all about the angle, Johnny. Like,
oh, I see, okay.
45 degrees, you know, the trebuchet angle, you launch it, you can get max distance. You can serve so many people without actually...
You're saying that beast mode is kind of like a superpower, you know, you gotta use him wisely, otherwise you might just fling your toast onto the ceiling, which
you know,
renders it unedible. Yeah.
Right, when you push the handle down, like, it's a timer, right? It's not on forever. So like he's got that timer, and then once it pops out, you know, that's when you get the result.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you put it in that context, it does make sense in reality. I wanted to really explore that before we get into game 2, because we might be seeing Beast Mode and Daniel again here. G2 get the pick, because V1 have already got that win in 3v3. That I didn't expect to really come this early. And it is going to be 2v2. G2 trying to answer back immediately. Now, the thing about... Oh, look at this shot already from V1. Not even giving me a chance to talk about format for a second. Kickoff goes straight back to them, and Beast Mode lobs it up for Daniel. Just beautiful team play straight away. V1 up by 1.
But the point you were going to make, please continue.
I was going to say we will get a 1v1 no matter what in this format. Well, if G2, especially if they're planning to win this series and they've lost game 1, they know that we're getting a 1v1 no matter what, which is different from a best of 5 in this format. You're not guaranteed a 1v1 unless you go to game 4. But yeah, we're getting a 1v1 anyway, so it's not like they could just get it out of the way with and then avoid it later on. No, it's coming either way, so they're trying to get some momentum with the 2v2. It's not working though. V1 are all over them.
I think it's going to be feast mode for beast mode in this match. Look at Daniel, just 360 challenge. Okay, dude, that's cool. Atomic was playing real tight with Chicago, thinking that at least a neutral 50 or a 50 into the corner, right? Not straight in front of the net to beast mode. And then if they kick off on top of it, all right, here we go.
Yeah, it looks like there might have even been a demo attempt by Daniel off screen there, but I think he must have missed it. Otherwise, the net would have been open for beast mode to shoot at. Loving these kickoff strats from V1. They might even get a third here. Daniel's chasing down Atomic. He's blocking him on the goal line. Oh, well done by Chicago to recover and keep it out.
Oh, Chicago, reset available. Pass to Atomic, maybe, but had more momentum on net than it did over towards Atomic. So he's going to flip the ball, gives Chicago a chance, and they just pinched that right off the bar. Chicago pops it up, giving Atomic a chance. Daniel on the far side. Atomic slips underneath the shot, right into Daniel, and over and in. You only see that so many times.
Well, Atomic, he got the shots off quickly here, because he knew Beast Mode was coming to challenge him. Daniel tried to control it into the corner without jumping, and it just bounces off his head into the top corner of the net. Well, definitely a misplay there. You don't need to be a genius to figure that one out. But the fact that Daniel's actually made that mistake is crazy. That is a rookie mistake. And Daniel is far from a rookie player. He's answered back immediately. You've got to be careful after kickoffs against this V1 team. They're just so quick at creating chances. They've done it again.
And Beast Mode just throws the ball out. Now he's got the space. Atomic's so far off, no one's going to challenge him. It just makes it so easy for Beast Mode to go after Atomic, keep him on the ground. Which way Version1 beat you? They got a whole arsenal And there's only 2 of them. That's scary. Here's Beast Mode with a quick flick. Nice move from Beast Mode.
Yeah, just again, V1 better with the kickoff, better after the kickoff as well. Chicago just bailed there. He just left the play to get boost. Atomic wasn't sure if he was supposed to defend the goal or make a challenge, and he gets outplayed. But, you know, really this is just G2 as a team, you know, making some slight misplays after kickoffs happen. They've got to play closer together. They're too disconnected. V1 are just, they're exposing them every single time.
G2, I feel like, I want to say, you know, they got some time to figure this out, but Version1 really aren't giving them time to think. They just locked them down here. Even Daniel, not going to commit until the final challenge right there. Beast Mode keeping it close. See, sizing up Atomic. He got the better angle there as Atomic trying to get in. Here's another attempt from Chicago, running out of boost, and Version1's there to knock it on the challenge again, and puts it on the far side. Okay, what's your Beast Mode? Jeez.
That's just how to help out your goalkeeper in 2v2. Beast Mode showing how it's done there. Straight back to the play. Forget rotating back post. Just goes straight for the ball. It's much harder for G2 to really see that coming and do something about it. So I think just better defense as a team from V1, better kickoff game. And yeah, when you add all that to their mechanical skill, I mean, that's the difference we're seeing here. I think they do have a mechanical edge in this matchup as well. So it's really G2 who've got to be the smarter team, and they've been outsmarted by a team that are better than them in the mechanical game. This is the result, 4-1.
We have seen Chicago go for more flip resets in this game than I think I've seen him do in 2 RLCS seasons. New seasons, not the old seasons. He's trying everything to get by them. It's just not working. Daniel and Beast Mode lock up. Did G2 even get a shot on net on that last push? I don't even think they did. They get some space here. Chicago on the left side. Atomic gonna go for the dribble, and they're just missing that scare factor. Like, Version1 just aren't scared. No one's going for a demo. No one's doing anything to try to force Version1 off the ball, off on rotation. It's fully controlled here by Version1.
Not to scare G2 fans too much, but if they don't win this, it's almost over. In fact, they might have just lost this series. They're going to need to beat Daniel in 1v1 if they lose this. If I'm figuring this out correctly, if they lose this game, they're going to be 2-0 down. We go back to 3v3, which they have to win. And then we go to 1v1, which they, you know, probably lose. And then they'd have to win the 3v3 as well, which would give V1 the pick of Game 6. They pick ones, and they win the series. I think, you know, the point we're at is that G2 are going to need to beat Daniel in 1v1. Atomic is going to need to beat Daniel in 1v1 unless they can pull out a miracle comeback here.
What's your percentage chance for Atomic beating Daniel in just one game? We saw RazeBull do it yesterday. Does Atomic have that same energy?
Does he have the same chance as RazeBull of beating Daniel in one game? I don't think so. No, I would say Atomic percentage chance to win one game out of 2. I'll give him a 20%, you know. I think 20% chance for that to happen. I'm not trying to sell you guys in a dream here. I think that's just a realistic opportunity there for Atomic. He is good enough to probably take a game 1 in 10, and he just needs to get 1 out of 2.
Well, the chances might be getting slimmer for G2. You will have to play this 3v3 next, but Version1 really cleaned up early in this 2v2, rested on their laurels for the rest of the game. But maybe G2 get one for the road. Nope, they don't even get that. Knocked away. So here we go, G2 back to the 3v3. Try to right those wrongs, but Version1 looking really clean through 2.
Yeah, and they're gonna need to really come back from a horrible position now, G2. I mean, it was something we saw coming. V1 dominating the 2s and 1s. You know, looking at the records of the 2 teams coming into this, that was expected. But G2 winning 3v3 was also expected, and they lost on the first try there. So that's the big surprise, is V1 getting that 3v3 win so early. This is not so much of a surprise, but still, you know, you got to give credit to V1 for pretty much every aspect of this game, apart from that goal they conceded where Daniel just completely sold. Everything else was perfect. Their kickoff game was a level above G2. Their synergy and defense was just a level above. And yeah, offense and mechanics just obviously too strong for G2. Now, I've got to just correct a couple people in the live chat here. Jorby asked me percentage chance that Atomic gets 1 game out of 2 tries. So I gave him a 20% because, you know, if he's going to win 1 in 10, what's the chance of that being one of the 2 games we see? I'll give you guys as much time as you need to think about it. In the meantime, we'll get into this 3v3.
Thank you, Math Professor Johnny Boy, helping all of our Twitch chat.
Yeah, if you Twitch chat, if you need any more help, just give me a shout. I'll be here for the rest of the series. But G2 need this. They need to win this badly. They need to win every 3v3 from here on and a 1v1. Mission impossible for G2 starts now.
Well, as always, the start to a great story. See if G2 can start building that here. Running into each other may not help them in that journey. Catch nice from Daniel, leaves it. Makam had no boost. There's no way he could push forward on it. For G2, a team that tends to get physical when they start getting frustrated on offense. They tried to do that in the first 3v3, but they were not successful. Talking about version 1, the way they moved around on defense away from G2 despite them like closing in. G2, they don't play a loose rotation. They play very tightly near each other. And the fact that version 1 have dodged those attempts routinely, G2 are going to have to find a way to download how version 1 are seeing the pitch. We just have the better vision right now, and even right now, G2 struggling to get balls consistently by the midfield line.
Yeah, it's not the same, burst that we saw earlier on. Now here it comes though. Oh, that's a slow shot though from Atomic. Chicago's there to finish it off. G2 get the job done. You would have expected it to be maybe 1 shot sooner there from Atomic. Just a slightly awkward angle that he couldn't react to in time. No problem. Chicago's there to finish it off.
Not bad for G2, just as their offense was struggling. JNAP's got a 50 in midfield, set up that whole opportunity. When they take 1 or 3, they eventually found the net, but they don't find the ball there. JNAP's had to come in quickly. That's a huge boomer from Daniel. Akam dove for the dunk. Couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, G2 had a 1-goal lead in game 1. Pretty early as well, just like we've seen here. It was V1 who came back and took the game. They really pressed to the end of regulation and earned that goal to tie and won it deservedly as well afterwards. I think G2's main win condition here is just to keep the pressure on, keep V1 in defense, because V1, when Daniel and Beast Mode start to flex their mechanics in offense, they look really scary, and they have looked really scary all week as well against everyone they played. When they can get firing, oh, look at this again, almost a redirect. In fact, G2 1 gold, what?
Oh my god, it's like, wait, not like this. Oh no! Oh, it's like trying to catch the greased watermelon. You're just trying to keep it up. You're not trying to drop it. You're at the fair. You're just trying to win there. And you dropped it. You dropped it. It's all over the floor. Your own goal. What was that?
Oh, I just can't believe it. I mean, they had so much time as well. There was really no reason to panic. There's no one for V1 anywhere near them. I think all 3 G2 players were going to get to the ball first, and I think they've just fallen apart again. V1 with an easy goal as Beast Mode on the counter-attack. G2 are capitulating. I think they're now realizing just how dire the situation is. How do you come back from this? This is a mental disaster, Darby.
Atomic didn't expect Beast Mode to just get the ball for free in the corner. Chicago down there, he thought surely a touch was coming out. He was playing up, and then the ball just sails over his head. I wonder how in the world was he supposed to predict that, but you're absolutely right. I mean, it is not going well for G2 right now. Not only do they give up the freebie, but then they allow that one. And it just feels like it's getting that much more difficult. Are they about to concede another? They just launch it downfield. Makam's touch, nicely caught by Chicago, and he gets over 1 defender. That's a good pop. This is a good push here from G2. Delayed touch, back to JNAPS, but it's pushed out. 2 committed from version 1, and it looked like something was developing there. They get a bump. Maybe they get, oh, that one's gonna kill it right there. Daniel gets the catch.
Yeah, still time for G2. They're their own worst enemies in this game, but they do still have a chance to rectify the situation. And like we keep saying, it's a must-win game. They're already up against it, being down 2-0 with 1v1s to come. To go down 3-0 would just be completely impossible, unthinkable to win, and it's just getting worse and worse, Jarby. V1 not slowing down for a moment. Another miss in defense. I mean, it's a tough read for Atomic there, but you'd expect him to be hitting the ball in some way there. No contact. 3-1 V1.
Good dodge economy for Beast Mode as well on the challenge, knowing he had Chicago screening on the left side, and so waited until the point of contact to dodge into that ball. He had all the forward momentum. Chicago had none, and that's what allowed him to win that 50, open up the door, and make life so awkward for Atomic. Despite them almost making it look too easy, Johnny. I mean, there's a lot that Beast Mode's doing in this game in particular. The last 3v3 was Daniel conducting in that first man spot, but this one, Beast Mode has just found his way every time. Common Daniel breaking up as G2 get downfield.
You know, the crazy thing is that Com might just go AFK if V1 can win this, and it wouldn't. And Com could go AFK. He could just leave. In fact, both Com and Beast Mode could just leave. They could just go take a dinner break after this game, and they're still probably going to win the series most of the time, because Daniel could just take it from there by himself. He's like, don't worry about it, guys. I've got 2 shots to beat Atomic in ones. Yeah, leave it to me. We've got 1v1 coming up next. The sweep is likely. I mean, we're not going to lie to you guys. This is probably a sweep. Daniel should beat Atomic, and we tell you that because, number 1, it's true. Number 2, if Atomic does win, I want you to know how impressive it is. I'm telling you, and Jorby's telling you, Atomic can't win very often. If he does, it is an absurd victory, and he should be incredibly proud of himself, carrying G2 back into the match. But yeah, right now it is that bad for G2. Daniel can take it from here.
Well, you know what they say about a 1 in 10 try, but you only need to win one of the 2. However you tried to draw that up, Johnny, I can't even draw it up right in my head anymore. But the point is, the fact that there is a chance means that it might happen. And that's all I'm relying on right now. I'm just relying on Atomic and like, oh yeah, who veteran, you know, oh yeah, really solid defensive gameplay. But this is Daniel, all right? Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just, like, you say 20%, Johnny, I say like 5%. I think there's snowball's chance in the hottest place on earth that Atomic ends up winning this 1v1 against Daniel.
Yeah, you know, I that's just, you know, a bit of a guess, to be honest, because Atomic it's still unclear just how good he is at 1v1. He was able to beat Cosmic, don't forget, the first game in this tournament that Cosmic played. Really the biggest game of Cosmic's competitive career. Atomic beat him. But since then, Cosmic's really looked like a different player, more like himself, more of the Cosmic that we would expect. So as impressive as that win for Atomic is, I think we do have to put it down a little bit to Cosmic being nervous in his first massive competitive game, when his team was already losing in the series. Here, though, this is a step up even from taking down Cosmic. Daniel is the best 1v1 player in North America. He's easily in anyone who watches 1v1. You've got Daniel in your top 5 without even having to think about it worldwide. So if Atomic can win this, then I am massively impressed, and I'm going to be, you know, immediately jumping him up a tier in my estimation. He's already in a bit of a rough spot here. Anytime Daniel's air dribbling towards Atomic, he's likely to be scoring. If he's got a reset, it's massively favored that he's scoring. And here he comes again.
Daniel got his set up and is just going to keep resetting. Nice chip on Atomic. Good recovery, though, from Atomic. 35 in the tank. Flick on target. Oh, off target, but had it on the lock. We'll get back to it. Good first try here from Atomic, going for the flick.
And actually promising as well for Atomic. Daniel's first touch a bit off on a couple of those attempted takeoffs. He gave 2 tries at air dribbling Atomic there. Both of his first touches were not what he's looking for. Oh dear, he's wide open for the demo though. Daniel's just going to play the ball though. He knows the shot's available. Really well done by Daniel, punishing Atomic's awkward position. Yeah, he had just options here. He could have demoed Atomic, could just play for the first touch and goal. He chooses the latter, and he leads 1-0.
Just like that, Atomic just couldn't get a handle of the ball, but a promising first start on those first 2, or that first push that he had. See if he can get another one of those. But how many times will Daniel end up not finding the touch he needs? Atomic trying to find a bump, maybe a demo or a touch, but Daniel just flicks it right into his net.
Yeah, Atomic a bit careless there. You think the inexperience showing. You can see that he is baiting the flick. He's inviting Daniel to flick there by leaving the net just slightly open. But yeah, from that range, he needs to be completely between the ball and his goal. or else any kind of flick that's faster than supersonic speed will not be savable. That being one of them. Now Daniel will get a third goal, pushing the ball around Atomic on the kickoff. Actually, last kickoff, Atomic did pretty well, but if you've watched a lot of Daniel 1v1s, you know that this is his favorite side to go towards. He's very, very strong, pushing the ball off this left wall. You'll see a ton of Daniel air dribbles off that left wall immediately after kickoffs. And yeah, this could get ugly. Double figures is a possibility. Atomic missing a chance there off the kickoff of his own.
Oh, goes for the catch, low 50.
Okay.
Hits it, smart play in front with low boost, and he makes it work.
Love that from Atomic, and we've been seeing a lot of mind games from him in this event. He pulled one off against Koi the other day as well, yesterday as well. Just very late shot to pop the ball in at the far post. There is Daniel, that same kickoff. Look at this left wall, air dribble, reset. I mean, this is Daniel's bread and butter.
And the musty, That's a dirty shot from Daniel. You know, Atomic, poor guy, he's like a paper boat in a typhoon in this game. Like, he can't help just being pushed and pulled by the waves that are Daniel. Daniel is the ocean, and Atomic is the little paper boat right now.
You know, what Daniel loves to do on the vast majority of his kickoffs is just try to go to that side wall. He doesn't want to go for an immediate goal. He wants to go for this side wall. Oh, look at Atomic to get another goal, actually making his offense work. This is a big deal for Atomic. As you know, Daniel is going to be scoring, I think, the majority of his offensive pushes. So Atomic needs to do the same. That's a second one in a row there. When he can get into attack, he is looking good. He's got Daniel pre-jumping too high.
Let's see what he got here. To dodge back. Daniel doesn't get the demo. This is a chance for Atomic actually on the break. Just has to line this up.
Oh, wow.
Favoring him. Daniel, great recovery. Picked up every small pad on his way back. Had the wave dash as well. Everything needed to go right on his recovery there. And it did. But Atomic hasn't given up the ball. Went for another low 50. Gives him a chance to swing across.
Oh, no.
Daniel's got 59, though. Atomic trying to make him scared. Atomic another low 50. He's out of boost. He's in danger here. It's over his head. Daniel wants the shot. He thought Atomic was going to hit it into him, but he didn't get it. He still gets the ball and gets the boost as well.
Yeah, Daniel nearly demoing Atomic there. Atomic got away from him. Now here comes Daniel again. He's not going to flip into the ball, though. It looked like he was going to hit the post, so he decides against it. This is where Daniel should be able to build an advantage for himself. Oh, hold on. Atomic comes out of nowhere and snipes the ball off Daniel's side. Now, Daniel did not expect that. He thought he had a free touch on the ball. Atomic on the back wall with momentum, beats him to the punch. We are actually in a real game here, ladies and gentlemen. Can Atomic do it?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. The slingshot finding its mark again for Atomic. Needs a couple more here. Flips off the ball. Daniel ball side now. Here he goes. On the catch. Full boost. Air dribble. A bump, maybe no reset, and drops back down into it. He will get the boost steal. Atomic left alone with 32. A little off the line as Daniel comes around. Got the reset available. Wave dash off the post. Only 15 as Daniel protects the ball back to the corner.
Yeah, again, Daniel's first touch on his air dribble setup's not as powerful as we're used to seeing from him. And that's benefiting Atomic. He's got real chances to make saves here. Again, Daniel using so much boost. Atomic will get the stop, but can he get back to it? Not quite. I mean, Daniel had to go all in there because, again, his first touch wasn't perfect, but he did enough. He forced Atomic to make an awkward save, and there was no recovery to follow up.
Atomic, that's tough to do as it's coming down off the bar like that. You got to time your dodge perfectly. He was coming across. He just had so much sideways momentum that it was hard to actually get his car on the side of the ball. He had to get under it. He hit it right up into the bar, but he still got time left. That's a good launch, and oh, good idea to go low, but didn't quite get the touch where he wanted it, as Daniel just simply arrows into the ball and goes up by 3.
Yeah, it's just one more touch than Atomic was expecting. He thought that pre-flip was all Daniel had planned, but Daniel actually air dribbles at the end of the pre-flip. Couple touches to put himself up 6-3. And really at this point, if Daniel gets his hands on the ball after any of these kickoffs that remains in the game, it's probably just over for Atomic. He's already lost another goal, in fact, not just a possession. And yeah, Daniel's just too efficient. He's too dangerous. Atomic fought bravely here. This wasn't a bad showing from him, but when you're really forced to take risks to make the comeback in ones, you leave yourself vulnerable for more goals.
Yeah, a tough one for Atomic. Definitely started to believe it when he brought it within one. And maybe with some sort of heroics here, he can make something happen. Went for the wave dash kickoff. I think it's the first time Atomic switched it up from the standard one, but Daniel easily swipes that ball away. And just has to manage his time well here, really, in the final minute. Atomic, gonna try to make him hurry up. Those 50s aren't really working out. He got that one low 50 early on, and then since then, every low chance Atomic has taken, Daniel is easily killed. Immediately turned into a threat right afterwards. And right here, Daniel, you're gonna have to go the full length of the pitch. I'm not giving you a free touch. It goes straight away. Atomic forced back to the midfield line. That just killed, that maneuver killed 7 or 8 seconds off the clock itself. That just may have gotten it done right there.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. You know, the real problem with going down by 3 goals against a player like Daniel is he can just waste so much time. He can bait you in. I mean, Atomic has no other option. It might look like a ridiculous challenge here. You're thinking, well, what is Atomic doing? Obviously, Daniel's going to see him coming here. But what choice does he have? If he doesn't challenge, then Daniel's just going to roll the ball around the pitch on top of his car, and then there will be no time left for Atomic to make a comeback. So kind of a lose-lose situation there for Atomic. He's down by so many goals that he's forced to go all in. Ends up conceding again, and now it just looks like an even more one-sided game. But really, this has been over since 6-3. That was, I think, the moment where Atomic's in a position where it's just so difficult to come back against an expert like Daniel, who's clearly performing well today.
Now, Daniel, much like a hummingbird, fast, precise, and absolutely dominant in the air. Great work from Daniel.
Oh, wait.
Oh, this is so close. We wanted it.
That's huge. You know, Daniel, he does not have a great record for pogos in his air dribbles. That would have been brand new for him, I think. I don't know. Has he scored one? Maybe someone in chat can tell me if I'm forgetting one.
I don't think he has.
I've never casted him scoring a pogo in 1v1. He's gone for a lot of them. So that was one of the best bounces I've seen from him. You know, it might sound silly that we're hyping up as much as we are, but that is the next thing in 1v1 that you're going to see in, a couple months, maybe a year from now. Every top level ones player is going to be doing that. There's already a ones main in the Middle East called Dark who does that extremely consistently. That is something that you need to familiarize yourself with. We're going to have that in Pro 1v1. Maybe not 3v3, bit too slow for 3s. But Pro level 1v1, that's the future. That's the game that, that's the meta. That's the game that we all love.
And when the 1v1 starts turning into, I mean, even 2s, we're seeing pogos happen in 2s as well. There's enough space for that. I mean,
yeah.
Just the levels we're going to be at. We're going to be looking at this like we look at RLCSX in Season 9 now with the level of play, the difference that is Daniel on version 1. Absolutely phenomenal performance from version 1, not just in 1v1, but in 2v2 and in 3v3. And much as you had predicted before we got on the cast, Johnny, you felt like version 1 were too strong. They absolutely showed it here. I mean, what a team.
Yeah. I didn't think they were going to win 4-0, though, for the record. I thought probably 4-2, 4-3 would be more likely. Winning both of the 3v3s is not what I expected at all. But yeah, 1v1, the fact that we're, good chance of getting at least 2 of those just gives them such an advantage against a team like G2. No disrespect to them. They just aren't there yet with their 1v1 capabilities. I think 2v2 they probably are. That was just a brilliant game from Daniel and Beast Mode. I think for G2, they've got to get back into the lab with their 2v2 kickoffs and their 1v1 just all around. That's how they become a world-class team in crew battles. Until then, I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. They can get some upsets. They can make a reasonable run at Gamers 8. But to be a contender for the event, they need to be better in ones.
Well, Johnny, I've loved talking to you and learning math from you alongside everyone. But won't lie to you. Banks, tell me, 2 + 7 × 32 when divided by 10. Go.
2 + 7 × 9 × 32 is, I don't know, because Jorby just brings you the energy like a supercharged toaster. Yeah. That's what I thought, buddy. I absolutely love you guys. We have fun here at Gamers Without Borders, don't we? We have our first finalist, Cole. No losses so far from version 1. Yeah. That has to stand for something.
That was good fun, wasn't it, version 1? The 4-0 versus G2 Esports. I mean, in hindsight, obviously version 1 were victorious, right? Like, it all makes perfect sense now it's all been and done. But I don't think some people expected a big old 4-0, a dominant 4-0.
It really was.
I was wrong.
It'll be
I was wrong in literally every single way. So it was going to be G2 winning the threes all throughout. No, instead, version 1, they smash it out. And also, G2, fun little fact, they didn't score as many goals in the entire series as Daniel did on his own in the 1v1.
So that's what you were figuring out on your fingers. It wasn't Jorby's little maths question, which I thought I had in my head for a second, and then I lost it. Did you not at all? Oh, he was asking.
No, not even slightly, no. But version 1, what an unbelievable showing from them. Not just in those 3v3s that they managed to take away from G2, which, as Johnny was saying, you'd expect them to take 1 or 2 potentially, but the fact that, they managed to win both of them, didn't even go to any other 3v3s, and then also, Cole, those 2s and the 1s. Just an utterly dominant performance from them throughout.
I mean, that's what you'd expect, especially from the 1v1. The 2v2, I think a 4-1 was... I thought it would be a little bit closer than that, basically, with Chicago and Atomic, because they are, of course, great players in their own right, but Beast Mode, in particular, just took it away from G2 Esports. But I think the real story here is, as you alluded to, winning 2 3v3s in a row against G2. And again, I'm seeing this in the context of a Rocket League season. Version 1, they're this team that have come together, totally hyped up. Daniel, Beast Mode, are they going to be as good as we want? They're turning into the team that's as good as we want them to be. And this is the team that may well win Gamers 8 as well. We might be looking at future champions right now, Banks.
Ooh, I mean, our series highlights on your screen right now presented to you by Aramco. Now, I think G2 were just put on the back foot very early on. Everyone anticipated them to come out of the gate swinging with the 3v3s, and it just didn't happen like Stumpy said. But, this is where cracks are exposed when it comes to our orgs who are competing here in this format. And that's why I love it so much, Stumpy.
Yeah, and I completely agree with what Cole said earlier as well. I called it at the start of this competition. Version 1, they are one of the strongest teams coming into this entire event. With Dan and Beast Mode, they excel at the 3s, 2s, and the 1s. With B Mode and Dan coming in as that 2v2 team as well, they literally don't have a weakness, which is a really scary thing from them. And what great timing from V1 to pick up Daniel to create this fun little NA super team.
I mean, with G2 as well, they're about to face Koi in the lower bracket final, and maybe Chicago is going, should have got a 1v1 guy in. We should have.
Maybe we should have practiced them.
Maybe we should have got an external guy in to do our 1v1s. We're going to have a quick look at the updated bracket. Let's have a look at the updated bracket as we approach the final 2 best-of-7s of the day. As you can see in the upper bracket, version 1 with that cool, clean 4-0. And Koi are currently awaiting G2 in that lower bracket final position. Koi, a team who lost their first match and have just powered through that lower bracket, Stumpy. I mean, what an impressive performance from them so far.
Koi have been wonderful. They've been so much fun to watch as well. Yeah, G2 beat them to start off with, but they've made the run through Axel, through Complexity, and through Optic Gaming. But now, that massive, massive challenge against G2 Esports. Koi are no slouches, though. G2, I was saying that, they are just the better team when you look at them compared to Koi. But that version of G2 and that version of Koi, I really don't think it's as clear-cut as a lot of people might think.
Also, remember as well that it was S5 Cosmic's first match in this entire tournament was against Atomic, and he lost it 6-2. That's where the nerves came in. I guarantee you that S5 Cosmic is desperate to have a run back against Atomic right now. Like, let me at him. I've got to prove myself against this guy.
We have the possibility of a rematch as well going into the grand final, but I kind of want to see Koi in the way that they're playing against version 1. I don't know, that's just me. But we got G2 going up against Koi in the lower bracket final best of 7. Let's hope they don't get too coy and shy away from the 3v3. Dad joke. Let's go. See you after the break.